Hey friends, welcome to another episode of Sketchy Ideas, the point-counterpoint video podcast where we illustrate, debate concepts surrounding leadership, business, and personal achievement in a way that may make you think twice before you implement that new idea you just found out on the internet. Hi, I am Brad James.
And I am Michael Rampola.
And we are your hosts today, along with our producer, Brian, who just blew open the Pandora's box by saying, hey, we've hit our longest technically sound streak. So you can expect something to go wrong today.
Come on, he meant well. He meant well. But you know what they say about, good intentions. Yeah. We're gonna succeed in spite, despite. He is the producer, so if there's gonna be a problem, basically he's jinxing himself. We should be clean.
All right, sounds good. I like that. Yes, we have gone 6.5 episodes without an issue. Thank you, Brian, for all the hard work. You've done it. Now you just jinxed yourself, so we'll see how you do today. All right.
Good luck, bud.
So today we're actually going to dive into something that is extremely relevant, and it will be relevant probably for the next 3 months because I think it's something that will probably take 3 to 6 months till we get back to this new normal in the world. But before we dive into that, a little word from the organizations that power this show. Michael, you're up.
Sketchy Ideas is powered by Spirity. Spirity helps business owners transform themselves for their next stage of growth. As your company gets bigger, if that's in terms of revenue, product mix, employees, geographic span, as the business owner, you're that much farther away from being able to put your hands on every part of the machine, both figuratively and literally. How do you change the way you operate so you can be ready for that opportunity? That's what we specialize in. So if you're ready for the next stage of growth, but not yet sure how to get there, talk to Spirity. We would love to help you get ready for that next stage. Spirity, transform for growth. You can reach us at spirity.com.
There it is. All right. And let me ask you a question. It's your business, so you got to be in charge of everything, right? No, wrong. Even the most organized people need help sometimes. Maybe you don't have time to keep up with social media. Maybe you haven't branded yourself or your company yet. It's okay. Cream City Marketing is there to help. Our experienced team over at Cream City Marketing works directly with you or your marketing people internally to relieve your stress around everything marketing. We craft quality content that gets you in front of ideal customers so you can reach your business goals of growth that Michael was just talking about. Cream City Marketing will handle the stress so you can do the rest. You can reach out to Erin over at Cream City Marketing by emailing her at erin@creamcitymarketing.com. So reach out to Erin. She's great. She'll put a smile on your face. All right. So with that, we're going to discuss something that's based on stuff that I've been experiencing lately. And Michael, you and I dove into this a little bit, but since the world is opening back up, guess what's began to happen?
What started happening, Brad?
I had face-to-face meetings for the first time in years with some of my partners,
I almost don't
clients, prospects. Yeah, I mean, it's we're nearing a time where it will no longer be frowned upon to sit across a table and have a conversation not looking through my computer screen. So I can actually look you in the eyes when I'm talking.
Weird.
Yeah, right? And get this, I did it without a mask on.
Wow. Congratulations.
Right? Yeah.
That's no small thing.
I know. It's like a feat of climbing the tallest building or something.
I was about to say, there's a mountaintop pose involved in that meeting, right? I mean, can't get my camera.
Hey, Superman, the Superman GIF, right? Giphy,
that.
Superman.
Yeah, doing this.
All right.
No, 100%.
So
I think that's a big deal, and that it says a lot about the fact that it wasn't just one. You've had more than one.
Yeah. So I've had 3 face-to-face meetings and 1 networking thing. Like, it's weird.
All right.
To get more than my group of friends of, 6 group of friends in a room. Now it's like there was 15 people, 20 people, all in the same room,
Very cool.
having a discussion,
Very cool.
all without wearing masks. Like, and it was weird for everybody. And so,
Okay. So I'm believing I haven't had my first yet, but when I do, I'm predicting an element of the surreal, because like I know what this used to be, but it's been a while, and there's a part of me that probably wrote off that it would ever happen again. Like really, if I'm being totally honest with myself, there's probably some part of my brain that's like, this was never supposed to happen again. This was gone forever.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So all right. So I'm not. That's what I'm predicting. I'm still not going to be ready for it. Like surreal things are surreal even when you're planning on them being surreal. But that's what I'm predicting.
I've had 3 of them, and I'm still not ready. So that's what I want to talk about.
There we. All right. Thanks for that honesty. That's good.
How to handle this stuff, both from a planning perspective for logistics and for mentally going into it. Because as you and I both know, when you go into meetings face to face, or any meeting really, you have to mentally prepare to some extent. Doesn't matter what it is, whether it's an internal meeting, whether it's a meeting with an existing relationship that was a friend, whether it's a sales meeting, whether it's like an account management meeting with a client, all of that stuff. And so today, I just want to walk through first I'll tell you the story, the logistics, but then I want to walk through some of the mindset things as I've been reflecting on these meetings to try and build out a checklist for myself and for others, so that when you're going into these, this isn't weird, but it's going to be weird unless you begin to learn from some of the experiences. So here's a story. And I'm going to bypass the networking thing, but that'll come back later. Okay. So I was sitting down with one of my developers for a piece of software we're building for the data centers. And we had set a meeting a couple of different times to connect because one, he's been in lockdown for a year and a half. I've been in lockdown for a year and a half. Actually, I haven't seen him face to face in over 2 years. So it was really weird because we've been working together, talking over the phone, all of this stuff. And we both planned it as if it was a normal work meeting where we were going to get together and meet at a restaurant halfway, talk about business, in and out, maybe have a drink and move on, right?
Okay.
Didn't happen that way.
Sounds good in theory. Yeah.
It sounds wonderful in theory. One, the restaurant had other people in it. Two,
right.
The 1 hour meeting turned into a 3.5 hour meeting with auxiliary activities afterwards of like talking outside. So it really turned into like a 4 hour, 4.5 hour meeting. Wow. 5, there was the awkwardness of the initial like connection point, right? Do we shake hands? Do we do the elbow bump, chicken wings? And then we're doing it outside, so it looked weird because there were people walking on the streets.
Right.
So, yeah, and that's what it was. That's what it felt like. So
got it.
It made me think back, and then when it happened, essentially again in the next meeting with a potential client, I was like, okay, time to like take a step back, add in some logistical things, some mental things, and all of those good details. So I boiled it down to just remembering this every time, and that's why I wrote it up here on the corner. I said, be chill, right? Because I think half of it is really the mental piece, right? Is going into it, you know the person, you're used to talking to people, just be chill. Because if you overthink it, of course you're going to overthink it. And then it's weird.
I'm sorry, let me do that again. If you're going to overthink it, then you're going to overthink it?
Yeah.
So can I underthink it? Is that a thing?
Yeah, that's why I say just be chill.
It's like you can be overwhelmed and you can be underwhelmed, but can I just be whelmed?
I don't think that's a thing anymore.
I think you can in France. So the movie line, peoples, give me some, come on. Somebody's got it. All right, so it's gonna be awkward. Underthink it. I like underthinking it because so had you but didn't you kind of underthink it? Like I didn't account for extra time. I didn't pre-plan the you know.
So I underthought the logistics and I overthought the mental. So
okay,
that's where this
That's
comes into play. Yeah. So they're both different because I treated logistically, and let's start with that. Logistically, I treated it just like any other meeting. Except I forgot a couple of things that I used to remember a year and a half ago when I had face-to-face meetings. One,
okay,
let's start with travel time.
Yeah.
And things that might come up with travel time.
Right. Traffic.
You know, now there's traffic on the road. You can't.
Right. If it says I'm going to arrive on time, it's wrong because I haven't parked, I haven't walked.
Mm-hmm.
I have yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
good. I'll be right on time. No, you're now 15 minutes. Automatically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was the first lesson I learned in this process is plan for travel and then make sure I add it into my calendar.
Oh, like all of that
an extra
buffer.
Yeah. With an extra 30 minutes from the travel time. Because, and I say extra 30 minutes, and realistically, this is relative based on the distance you're going to go.
Sure.
But I said 30 minutes for a couple of reasons. One, there's a whole bunch of people on the road now again who have forgotten how to drive the right way.
Like the first time it snows.
In Wisconsin, yeah. Or they just, there's, you know, we have in Milwaukee, we have this wonderful traffic where we have 3 speeds. We have normal speed, the people who just follow the rules like to a T. Then we have people who are slower than what are necessary.
Okay.
And Brian shakes his head. Brian hates those. I think many of us do who are on the move, but the people who always feel it's Sunday are the people I'm talking about.
Got it.
So we can cruise. We can cruise in the left lane of the interstate, going 10 to 15 miles below the speed limit, as people in the center lane are going maybe 5 to 10 miles faster, but are hitting people, and then on the right lane. So you can't pass the wall of cars, right?
You're
And then we have the other group of people who clearly learned how to drive from watching the movie Fast and the Furious.
Nice. And you're in the middle of all of this going, I'm just trying to get there.
Yeah. And even though those cars clearly are not from the movie.
Very nice. Right.
You know what I mean?
I know exactly. Yeah, that was good. I like that. I like that.
So travel time is an important thing to keep. And I'm looking at this purely from a professional standpoint, right? And looking at this, that we are all entering this new normal, and this new normal is going to take 3 to 6 months. So if you're watching the show, you can be the model of what people can do or predict to do as they're beginning to get back into this, right? Crawl before you can walk, walk before you can run, you know, before you can run fast. Message from Brian. The new normal is not driving slow. This is a PSA, right?
Campaign.
The new normal is not driving slow.
All right, allow me.
The more you know.
Allow me before we go any further to address the term new normal, because I can't let this one go.
Okay.
The new normal is neither new nor normal. It's like new and improved. Which one is it?
I don't think it's either yet. We're not going to be in a normal back to the way we used to be ever. And I want to make that very clear.
So anybody else who has been around for a global seismic transition like this, i.e., if you, my not perfect example, but go with me for a second, is if you did airplane travel prior to and post 9/11 here in the US. If you can't actually remember what airplane travel used to be like, and the lack of security protocols and long lines, and you can walk your parents or friend to the gate, and all of the things that used to be very, very different. 2 hours planning to get, or it's not quite, you know, most of us don't do the full 2 hours, but you know you got to get there early. It used to be, you know, 45 minutes. If I park at 45 minutes, I'm walking on my plane and no problem, right? Now, and take off my shoes. Like I dress differently for flights now because of all the things I know I can and can't do, and where if that's now normal. in a sense, right? That is understood. That is what is typical. Like, we can avoid word normal.
Mhm.
That is the typical. But if
Mhm.
you had the previous typical, you can actually go, wow, this is different. But if I didn't have that, this is just the way we do things. There is a
Yep.
future whereby this is just the way we do things is going to look
Yes.
different than the version of this is the way we do things from,
Yes.
end of 2019. And
Yep.
that's what I want to just put
Exactly.
out there is we're still in transition, people. Listen to me, people,
Yes.
listen, people. I mean, we're still in transition. And I think, Brad, you're bringing up an awesome point that even in the transition, each of us is in different stages of that transition, right? You're now
Yep.
3+ meetings in. I think I'm still at zero, in all honesty. So I'll get there. But the way I've realized it is, all right, sometimes they'll do economic surveys and they'll say, what's the economic trend? How are you experiencing the economy?
Yep.
And then there's a term they call your personal economy, right? Which is, here's what's happening. But then they ask kind of like, and how are you experiencing it? Often my experience, my personal economy can be different than the macro economy. And right now, I think we're experiencing a moment where that is especially true, where my personal economy, my version of what's new and current and how I'm operating is at the individual level. So are there macro trends? Not
Yes.
yet, because each individual is reworking it out for themselves and what they're comfortable with and what they're going to do and not do and when they're going to start or not restart different things.
Yes.
I think that goes to
Yep.
business too. Are you going to keep doing
Yes.
that thing you did to pivot, or are you going to drop it? Are you going to pivot the pivot? What are you going to do?
Yep. Yep. Exactly.
All of these are decisions that need to be made.
Yep. So, all right. Thank you for that. Step 2 in this process was actually getting there. All right.
Okay.
So the other interesting part is Park met him, did the weird, do I do the handshake? Do we do the elbows? What do we do? I would recommend you go in with a decision made so you don't look like me trying to do a weird dance on the corner of the street,
right.
as weird people look at me. Just nod. So we actually shook hands. Okay. So we decided shaking hands. It was all good, right? It was fine. All this stuff. There is still, anti, whatever you call that, the alcohol.
Bacterial. Hand sanitizer.
Yeah, antibacterial stuff. Yep, hand sanitizer. Thank you. Clearly couldn't remember that one. But we did the handshake. I would recommend you pick one and just stick with it, right? And go in with that intent because neither party has wanted to leave. So after my first one, this was one of the corrections I made right away. I said, I'm just going to shake hands from here on out. Because it also became a problem at the networking event, right?
Right.
Because everybody was kind of doing this weird dance. I was like, nope, we're just going to do the handshake. So I went back to what I used to do all the time. And I just made sure consciously to just, if it was a problem, hand sanitizer, just make sure you do it. If you want to do the chicken wing, leave with the chicken wing. If you want to do a nod, just go, put your hands behind your back and go, you know what? I'm just nodding. But go in with a plan because otherwise it's just going to be weird. All right. So that's that.
I've got decide and commit.
Yep.
I like it.
Then when we got to the restaurant, we didn't have a plan B and the restaurant was packed. So we ended up going somewhere else.
Okay.
So this also leads to the fact that now we're entering a time where if you want a spot at a specific restaurant and you're going to say, this is what it has to be, call ahead. Call ahead, reserve a table, be sure that they're, if that's what concerns you, do the legwork on the location. Did that the first time, didn't do it. The second time, didn't do it. Third time, learned from my first 2 mistakes and did it. So,
Got it. It takes us a little while.
Yeah. It's not something in the past you used to think was an issue, but the reason this is important is because we are not the only people going out. And going out now is a thing that people have not done for a year and a half. And so this becomes a challenge. Ended up, the restaurant was fine, but then we sat down, it was all good, went around the corner to a place that was much emptier early on in the day, sat down, and the servers are on their game right now. So this is the other part.
All right.
So the servers are going to be there. They're going to go, hey, what do you need? Because they have not been busy in a long time. And if you're a server here in the business of serving, you make more money by the more people you see and the bigger tips you get. So they're on their game.
Turn times. Yep.
So understand that. Don't get anxiety around it. This is part of the mental part. But if you get anxiety around it, it doesn't matter. You can always say, this is where you have to be okay saying, no, I'm not ready. Please come back in a few minutes. Just say that. Don't sit there and take up their time because they're trying to rack up cash right now. All right?
Yep.
We ordered, we were talking, we did a little bit of the, I thought the process of conversation was going to go my normal way, right? Like, hey, you talk about, do the small talk, you open up, you ask about the family, you do all the stuff, then you get to business. Well, here's the thing. The small talk is going to take a long time right now because as much as we've been communicating more via digital, the feeling of talking in person is way different.
I get that.
Way different. We don't have back-to-back Zoom meetings all the time, when you go and meet in person. Typically, you're probably planning for an hour. So this gets to my point of plan an appropriate amount of time. I now have been planning and scheduling it when I do the invite online for an hour, but I've been booking my calendar for 2 hours plus, right? Just to have the meeting, depending on who it is. Whether it's somebody I've never met or it's somebody I've been old friends with and have been talking to consistently through this time. And here's why. Because we have not had human connection the way human beings and biological entities need human connection for the last year and a half. Enjoy it, because you're going to lose track of time, whether you like it or not. Yeah. You're just going to do it. And I think if you go into the meetings right now with like, I got to move on to the next one, you're going to turn a lot of people off. Because if human connection is what really builds bridges with the people we work with, or even the people we socialize with, and you don't give it that right now, it's kind of like a first meeting all over again in a lot of ways.
Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah, there's people who I've only met through this medium, so to speak. Literally, I have a whole new network that I've never met face to face. And the joke in the network is, I can't wait to see how tall you are. Which I just, it's right. Like I literally only know, I only know part of you. And you're right. There's a different thing. There's a different thing about being in the same.
Or for some of them, they've been doing the phone call thing the whole time, so they've just had their image, and all of a sudden you see me, you're like, "Is that you? Is that?" No.
I like that. So here's what I'm getting. So all of this leads to my ability to be present. This is what I do in advance to enable me to get the most value out. I think you made a fantastic point right there at the end, which was I am reestablishing a relationship, a connection, insert anything here.
Yes.
And I need to put myself in the best position possible to do that. And expectations are different. So I think you're right. It's a whole new reset of expectations. And the whole premise of today was, here's some things you've thought about, part of the things you need to think about. There's some things you haven't yet thought about. And I think this is one of the main ones that you're talking about, which is you're reestablishing relationships. You're building on, but because the interaction changes, the expectations change.
Right? Yep, exactly.
Where experience and emotions overlap is where where expectations and emotions overlap is where the experience happens. So expectations, emotions, experience. If my expectations exceed the emotions I get, like if I am looking for this, it turns out to be this, my experience is down, right? But if my expectations are here and the experiences in the emotions are here, then my experience was amazing. And so the best way to be present and put yourself in a position to access as great of an outcome as possible is all in the prep work. Which is
and not only we talked about all of the logistical prep work, right? This is mostly logistics.
Two sides.
The other part
is
in your brain, right? The mental and the mindset aspect of it, right? I'm a pretty regimented person when it comes to my schedule. So the challenge for me was like being okay looking at my clock on my phone, like 2 hours in going, I'm not getting those other things done. And then just being okay with it. Like, so you need to, right now, it's the whole adage of improvise, adapt, overcome. And that's not necessarily meaning in the physical realm. That's talking between the ears.
Oh yeah.
Because one, if you liked doing these things prior, you're going to want to do them, right? And enjoy it.
Yeah.
So prepare your head for that. Two, if you didn't like doing them prior, you're probably still going to like doing them right now because you haven't done it or been forced to do it in a year and a half.
It's new, it's novel.
So enjoy it.
Yeah. All right.
Yes. So what I'm trying to get at with that is like prepare mentally for the expectations and all of the anxiety and awkwardness, right? There's just going to be there. It's kind of like going on a first date again, right? You walk into the first one and everybody's like, do we wear the mask? Do we not wear the mask? Do we wear the mask? Do we not wear the mask?
Right.
And like, come to an agreement. Just come to an agreement. It's okay. And in my mind, the thing is that this is like a dance. Every time you're going to go into a meeting or a networking thing, because everybody's coming from a different story and a different frame of mind on this thing. So the fact that you both have agreed, or many of you have agreed to be in one place, that's common ground, right?
Yep.
But here's the other thing. I promise you don't want to do, because I witnessed it happen at another table. Somebody else who was meeting, don't talk about politics. Don't talk about it. Just don't do it. Because I literally witnessed a meeting blow up. And I was like, oh God.
Really? So you were the fly on the wall as somebody else went down the wrong rabbit hole.
Yeah. Me at one of these meetings. And it became one of those things where if you sit at a table, you go, what do you think they're talking about? And when you hear
sideways quickly. Yeah.
When you hear the political figures brought up and then the voices raised and all the things, you're like, like I'm watching a reality TV show right in front of me.
I remember once this was in college. It was in the student union. It was like one of those later nights. I was getting homework done, kind of away from my dorm room. And I was witness to one booth over the shutting down of a relationship. And I will never forget how awkward that was. They were really sure, like, so are we really it was almost like, are we really breaking up? It was a very quiet and calm thing, but I've stuck in my memory all these years, because you're witness to something that is the ending of something, and you're there for it, even though you were never a part of its start or its middle, but you're there for its ending. And it's a very surreal, speaking of surreal, very surreal kind of experience.
Yeah. So that's just my recommendation. If you want to talk about it, go for it.
Yeah.
But I really believe
at your own risk.
Like we're at your own risk. Yeah, at your own. Do you like to live on the edge? Go eat the edgeless pizza from Pizza Hut or whatever the heck that is. What I'm saying is that take your time with it, enjoy it, go at your own pace. If you feel uncomfortable, be transparent and honest with the person you're talking to, and just go to a different place to have your meeting. Hell, go outside. Go sit outside and talk and go for a walk and have a meeting. It doesn't matter. But
fantastic.
You're getting a chance now to have human connection again. And almost everything great built in the world was not done in isolation. There are very few things that have been built in the world that we recognize that were built in pure isolation, period. Because there were always at least two people there in some way, shape, or form.
I like
so this is the chance to ease yourself back into it. Don't push it. Feel uncomfortable, back off of it. Wash your hands, do all the things just to make sure you feel good, right? Yeah. Even if you're vaccinated, whatever, communicate. But then mentally, just be okay with it. Be chill. Be chill. That's what I tell myself now going into these meetings. I'm like Brad, just be chill, right? If you've got meetings afterwards and you need to text to say, hey, it's not going to happen, tell the person. Just go, hey, I'm really enjoying the conversation. I'm going to text my next meeting that I'm going to be late or it's not going to happen. Right?
Right.
This is the chance to create some honesty and transparency again, and actually build real human connection. That's what I'm going to say.
Love it. All right.
You got to be ready for it.
This is fantastic. I'm going to show you how I've already immediately applied your suggestions. And if anybody was watching closely, you saw I was distracted for a moment. I literally just sent a message over to my EA to say, please clear my calendar for Thursday afternoon next week. Here's why. I've got a face-to-face presentation. I'm going to be doing a workshop live here in Brookfield. I've got one of the opening slots. I've got a couple other things throughout the day. It's scheduled to wrap up at 11:30. I'm sure, networking will go till 1, but I need to be honest with myself and say, if I have something at 1, that thing at 1, I don't want it to be pressing up against whatever else might be happening in the moment. So I'm literally in the process of clearing my afternoon that day to be ready. Cool. So yay. And I think a couple of things I just want to call out, some highlights of what I heard from you. By the way, so it's going to be awkward. I drew my awkward journal, and then I gave him a thought bubble or a speech bubble. The I'm not ready yet. And I've said that a couple of times, and people have been super chill and cool about it. And that's my honesty. So preparing yourself is about being self-aware, and then, to your point, deciding, committing, and then being honest. And this is a pretty good shorthand that I've used a couple of times, and it's been very well received. So that's why I'm sharing it as well. So I'm not ready yet. And the yet is probably the most important part. The I see it's about me, like I'm making it about me and not about you. I'm not ready yet. And people have been like, cool, that's cool. But it's also to your, it came out of your was reminded by to the server. Like, you can use this wherever you need to use it right now, because what we are in is transition, and transition is a special time for a bunch of reasons, because it opens things up. It puts everything back on the table to be evaluated, prepared, decide, commit, make the plan, check the plan, see if it's working. All of the things that we know about when things are changing. We're in that time right now. And let me add one thing, because it's change. Brad, you hit it, and I want to double hit it, which is the mental is as important as the logistical. Change is about two things. Change is about the emotions that people are going through and whatever is happening around them, the contextual changes, right? Yes. Both sides of the change need to be addressed for the change in the transition time to be completed, so to speak. So you're integrating a work team, you're changing banks, you're doing anything. There's an emotional transition as well as a logistical transition. And until those two things sync back up, you're still in transition. And it's okay to be cognizant of that. Own it and be forthright about it, because people get it. People get it.
Yes, they do.
It's going to be awkward. It's
and this
surreal. Let's just own that.
This is a good time. This is a good time to just be okay with it too. Yeah. I mean, so if you remember the transition into working remotely and how clumsy it felt, right? Transitioning back out of it is probably gonna be way more clumsy.
I think you're right.
Way more clumsy.
I think you're right.
It's a growth spurt, I think, for a lot of people. Right. Because they've learned something about themselves. They've learned, and that's what I'm going to say. I'm just going to leave it at they've learned something about themselves because they've had a lot more time with themselves.
True. Very
in the last year and a half.
Yeah.
Which has also been fun in the conversation. Like, that's a great question to ask. Is, hey, you've had more time at home. What'd you learn?
What'd you learn?
Like, what's the new hobby? What's the new thing you're doing because you've been stuck at home? I've had that question now a bunch of times. And my answer is weird. I've been like, well, I've been going the whole time. I just did more work. And everybody's like, we figured. But you ask them and they're like, oh, we picked up, met another beekeeper, which was fun. Gardening, was a big thing on World Gardening Day. So like the interests of people have expanded.
Yeah.
And they're figuring out other things, even if they're not relying on it, So
I like that.
That's why the story time is needed. And that's like going into it. Story time's typically not what I do in business meetings, but I'm trying to just let it happen. And it's,
chill.
I'm fighting a little bit against what I do, and that's okay.
Yeah.
It's good.
It's okay. You're growing too. Look at that.
All right. Brian's yelling at us because we're 5 minutes over. So
We're totally there. That's right.
He likes to drive fast on the road, not slow on the road. And evidently,
For the
we're going
record.
Sunday driving right now. Yep, there's
No,
the
we were
nod with
somewhere
the.
I think we were okay. Then we kind of hit an off ramp, so we should probably shut her down.
All right. So with that being said, hey, here's what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to take this checklist after today, and we're going to boil it down to a checklist for you, so that when you watch this, see this, whatever, it'll be a simple thing. You can download it. It'll probably end up being a one-page PDF or so. Download it, use it, and I hope it at least gives you some semblance of okayness, or as at least a reminder. And you should share. These are all based on my experiences, right? So by no means is it perfect, but I think you need to start somewhere, and this is an opportunity to do that. So we're going to put together a checklist for everybody who watches or listens or sees it. We'll throw it out there. You click the link, you download it. It'll be good. All right?
Love it. Fantastic.
All right.
Oh,
so with that being said,
if anybody does want to actually see me live in the flesh and find out how tall I am, all right, that workshop next week.
I do.
You know, though, you just forgot. Go to spirited.com/YG Summit, Young Guns Summit, spirited.com/YG Summit. You actually see me and the board face to face, live in person. Come check it out if you're interested. If you would much rather just know this much about me, no obligation. I totally understand. And with that, we should probably put a wrap.
Bigger board.
That's the plan. Me and a bigger board. And
there it is. Just so you're aware. So if you like his doodles, imagine if he has a giant board.
If you like his doodles. What are you trying to say, Brett? What are you trying to say?
I'm just saying,
fine. All right, Brad's board is bigger than Michael's board. Fine. You just had to all right, throw it in. All right, I'm going to put the wrap on before this gets worse. All right, this has been an episode of Sketchy Ideas, where we've explored and talked about what you need to do to prepare yourself for the transition and transitions in general. We would love to hear from you and what you're preparing for. What did you learn and pick up during this time? You can hit us at info@sketchyideasshow.com. We'd love to hear from you. We'll respond to you there, or drop in under where you find these videos. Us and our producers will be happy to respond to you there, because we love you and your engagement, and we will engage with you back. You know what I mean.
And if you like this episode, share it, screen capture it, share it, Twitter, Instagram, podcast, whatever, share it, give us feedback. We're trying to move some things and figure some things out. We've got some great guests coming on in the next couple of weeks, but we're really building this, so we're adding value to you as much as possible. So give us your thoughts.
So tune in next time when we debate and explore another idea. And remember, just because it's a sketchy idea doesn't mean it's not worth exploring. We will see you next time. Thanks, everybody.